That's
Yeah.
insane. You went from struggling, having almost your account banned in the first 2 days of getting access, to now crossing $500,000 in sales. If you don't mind me asking, how much in commission has that made you?
Over 100,000 at this point. Wow. When I found a product that resonated with me, that's when things just like took off. Did a 30-day challenge for myself. So I told myself I was going to go live every day for 30 days. And at the end of that month, I came out at $12,000. So
Wow.
after that, I was like, yes, I'm doing this. I don't care if I have to wake up an hour early. I had such a great month in November. I ended up with 33,000 in commission.
Holy. What product was it? Was it something that was in demand for like Christmas, or what was it? Welcome back to another episode of the Social Army Podcast. I'm your host, Bryce, and today I have a wonderful guest with us by the name of Melissa. She's actually one of our internal members with Social Army, so that's pretty cool. We're getting a twofer on that. One of the really cool things about her story to me, though, is the fact that she joined into Social Army before she was even an affiliate for TikTok Shop, which is fantastic and scary all at the same time, because most people doing this have no idea what direction they want to go. But in just 5 months' time, she was able to generate almost $400,000 in live stream income after taking that leap of faith to see what this was all about. So we're going to dive into her story and go over all of that here in just a few minutes. But before I do that, I want to give a quick disclaimer. Any sort of financial talk that we have on this show is not financial advice. We are not financial advisors or planners or licensed for anything of that nature. So please do not take it as such. 2, the results that you see on this show are also not typical results. Now, that does not mean that they are impossible. However, I do want to make everyone aware that just because you see these crazy numbers that we talk about here does not mean that that's what happens to every single person that tries this. There is a lot of work that's involved in the affiliate program with TikTok Shop. Oh, excuse me. And it does take time to learn and master. However, there are a few unicorns out there that post their first video and go crazy with it. So don't get me wrong, it can happen, but it is not your typical result. So do not think that this is some get rich quick scheme, because that is not at all how TikTok Shop operates. Now, like always, without any further delay, I hate wasting time. I want to get Melissa on stage, have her introduce herself to you guys, and give you guys a quick breakdown on who she is and why she's been so successful with this. So, Melissa, if you will.
Hi, Bryce. Thanks so much for having me on the podcast.
Of course.
I've always seen everyone else's podcast, so I'm excited to be able to get on here with you. But yeah, so I started TikTok back in, actually didn't even have a TikTok account until back in May. So a little bit about me is a full-time career. I was a career girly or corporate girly who worked over 40 hours a week. And I did that for 17 years. I was with the same company for 17 years and mostly managed a call center. So just customer service, come from a customer service background, and just mentoring and doing leadership. And and so right now I'm doing affiliate work, so creating content mostly from live streams. And I just joined the internal team with Social Army back in December.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And real quick, I want to kind of touch base on something you said there. You didn't have TikTok at all. Like, you didn't even have an account to scroll on, nothing?
I made a TikTok account about a year prior, and I was never interested in TikTok. My daughter would always talk to me about TikTok, and I was like, TikTok, like kids these days. I never wanted to get involved in TikTok. And she just kept telling me, watch these videos. So finally I did download it. I made an account. I don't think I made any post at all, like any post at all on anything. And then I think I did like something about my dogs, just like basic stuff. Never really scrolled on it. Didn't even know how to use it. And then, I started probably maybe 2 or 3 months before joining Social Army. I was just seeing a lot of content creators out there, a lot of people doing live streams. And I'm like, what the heck is a live? Like I all of a sudden I had the shop content on my feed. And I'm like, how did I click in here and how do I get out of this? Because it was just video after, it was just people selling me things. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And then over time, I started learning, like, people can make money here and anyone can do this. And I thought, okay, yeah, I can definitely do this. And then I was influenced. I started buying things from live streams. I started buying things from videos. And whenever I would talk to someone and they would be like, oh, I got this on TikTok. So I really then started becoming a consumer first.
Right.
And then realizing like how I can do this too. And then when I joined Social Army, I believe I joined from you. I think it was from one of your lives that you did promoting Social Army, and that was back in May. I did not have a shoppable account at that point.
Did you even have the amount of followers needed or
No.
close to it? No, that's crazy.
No. I ended up getting in under with the thousand
Right.
followers, which was a little. It was just that really short time frame,
Right.
and I just got in, and I didn't have it when I joined Social Army, but a few weeks after, I was able to actually get my account to be able to, be able to do shoppable content.
Right. That's awesome. And you went in straight into doing live streams, which is crazy to me because a lot of people start like wanting to do videos because videos obviously, they can give you a very explosive income source, but you went straight into lives and that's been your bread and butter since, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually a little shy, which is some people probably don't believe that, but I'm a little introverted. So videos for me, like I already knew off the bat, videos for me, like being on screen was not going to be my thing. But I said,
Right.
okay, well, I see videos out here with products and I can bypass that. And so I thought, okay, well, let me give it a shot. So when I joined in, I was learning a little bit about videos, and then I just wanted to be like, I'm going to do lives.
Right.
And this is before Live Academy came about. And one morning, I didn't have work on a Friday, and I said, I'm going to go live. And I just set my phone up. How hard can this be? And I pressed the live button, and I went with an eczema cream
Uh-huh.
that was at the time, which was like kind of popular, and I had it in the house, so I went live with it. And I think I did like maybe an hour, and I got off and I actually made 2 sales. I think I made like 20 some dollars or something
Right.
like that. And I'm like, all right, this is so cool. And then immediately was hit with violations, and I knew nothing about violations. I'm like, what's this violation stuff? I don't know what this is. And I really didn't care because I didn't know how it impacted my account.
Right. Right.
But I'm doing an eczema cream, and the actual name of the eczema cream was like the Ocean Heal My
Yeah.
Eczema.
Yeah.
And that one is like, that was pure violation magnet, but I had no idea. And then later on that day, I was like, okay, let me go live with something else. And actually, I had got a sample of Happy Nuts, and that's when Happy Nuts first came out within the community.
Right.
And I'm like, let me just go live with this. So I went live with that a few hours later. I'm like, this is fun, and I popped back on. And believe it or not, that second live stream was just like, the product was kind of sold itself because of the name and the gimmick behind it. And I came off of there with a bunch of sales, and I was like, this is so simple. But again, violations. So I also did the Go Pure neck cream. I think I was at 12 violations in the first 2 days that I
Holy
did live streams. And so finally I Googled like, what is a violation? And I read it and I was like, oh, I need to
I'm about to
stop
lose my
because
account and
my
everything.
account is going to go. I was already at 12, and I'm like, if I get one more violation, I'm like restricted. I was like panicking. And
Oh
I just cooled
no.
it. I went on Friday and Saturday, and I just cooled it after that. And it was shortly, so this was around June, and it was shortly like when Live Academy came out, and I
Right.
just joined that first night, and I was like, I need this because if I want to keep doing it, I know I could be successful at it, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. And the guidance is needed. I mean, like you said, you didn't know what these violations were. You kept getting them. You had no idea anything about them. Obviously, TikTok tells you what they are, but you don't really understand the severity. And it's kind of, in the beginning, when you're first navigating all of this, it's difficult to understand the back end of TikTok shops for affiliate side because things aren't really like clearly labeled. In order to find your violations and your points and your score, you got to go to your shop center and then scroll all the way to the bottom. There's not just an easy tab. So yeah, I totally get that, but that's crazy. You hit 12 so fast and I assume with the eczema one, it was probably just saying, just hitting those wrong keywords, right? The guarantees and things of that nature. Cause obviously you can't guarantee anything when it comes to supplements. So,
For sure.
or supplements or any sort of like, what would you even consider that? A body altering because it does heal in some cases, but not for everybody.
Yeah, and the Go Pure was like, I got a violation for saying weight loss, but what I actually
Yeah.
got the violation for was someone came into the chat and they said, oh, I've been using this because I lost a lot of weight and I'm using it to firm up my skin. And I just congratulated her on losing weight. And because I said that out loud, I got a violation for that. So, oh, it's so great to hear you lost weight, and I got a violation. But I had no idea. Bryce, I didn't even know how to pin a product. One of the people, the viewer in my live stream told me like, can you pin a product? And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I don't know how to do that. And she walked me, it was a humbling experience. But she walked me through it to how to pin the
That's
product on the screen.
awesome.
So yeah, I was definitely clueless. I just jumped right in.
And from being absolutely clueless in the very beginning of all of that to making now, you said what, close to $500,000 in total sales?
Yeah, I should hit
Mostly off of live
500.
streams?
Yeah. Yes.
That's
Yeah.
insane. You went from struggling, having almost your account banned in the first 2 days of getting access, to now crossing $500,000 in sales. If you don't mind me asking, how much in commission has that made you?
Over 100,000 at this point.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. It's insane what this can do. And that's all within less than a year's time. All
Yeah,
within
I
less than a year's
actually,
time.
yeah, got my TikTok shop account in June. I did my first live stream, I think on like June 12th, somewhere around there. And I really didn't start taking it seriously until a few weeks later, like probably, I would say even in the month of July is when I really started doing live streams on a more consistent basis. And so that first month of June where I got in, I just kind of just, like I said, pressed the live button, didn't really know what I was doing. And then I took it seriously because I saw the potential in it. And
Right.
so I really started in July.
Right. And then Live Academy, I'm sure, is what really, really helped a lot with that too, because you have the absolute best of the best teaching you over there, as well as doing all the research and making sure that you stay up to date. Like, it's just everything just kind of fell into place for you at that time. That's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I joined Live Academy, and I struggled a little bit when I first joined in, not
Sure.
knowing what product to go live with, and listening
Sure.
to what Chris and Drew are saying, and I just couldn't find a product that really suited me, and it was kind of stressing me out a little bit because I was really doing this part time. So doing this part time, I was, definitely trying to capitalize on the time that I had, right?
Right.
So the time that I had, I only have the weekends to go live. And now I'm trying to figure out what product to go live with, what's going to make me the most money. And then finally, when I found a product that resonated with me, that's when things just like took off.
Sure. Did you end up going from just the weekends to as many days as you could at that point?
Yeah. So I went on a vacation in August and I talked to my husband and I said, I really want to do this. Like I want to do my best at this. And, so I said, like, when we get back from vacation, I'm going to do a 30-day challenge. And how does that affect our family? Because working full time and then taking care of things at home and
Right.
just like personal relationship, how can I balance that? And, he was very supportive and he said, you figure it out, we'll work it out. And in August, I came back and I did a 30-day challenge for myself. So I told myself I was going to go live every day for 30 days. And I went 28 days, so pretty close. I did miss 2 days in there. And then that was that was my full first month where I said, like, what am I going to give up to get what I want?
Right.
How can I rearrange things in my life to make this work? And that actually meant I was going live in the morning before I had to actually go to my job. So I was getting up in the morning, getting everything ready for work, going live, and like just barely making it to work by like the skin of my teeth. Like I was like
Right.
driving down the highway because I wanted that. I was staying that extra couple minutes.
Right.
And I did that for the full month. And at the end of that month, I came out at $12,000. So
Wow.
after that, I was like, yes, I'm doing this. I don't care if I have to wake up an hour early, to be able to make this work.
Right. That's fantastic. In 28 days, I mean, $12,000, that's incredible. That's way more than most people make at a day job, even at a high level, high paying job. Most people
Yes.
are thrilled to be making $8,000 a month at a full time job, and you're over here doing it just for a few hours in the morning before you go to your job, making that part time. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah, it made it difficult to want to get in the car and drive to work.
I'm sure.
Every day, I'm like, what am I doing? And then I'm at work and I'm sitting on my phone and I'm like, oh my God, this person's live. I could be live right now if I didn't have this stupid job, so yeah, that was tough for me. But, and I wanted to get to a point where I would feel comfortable leaving my job because it
Right.
was always kind of in the back of my head that I wanted to do this full time. So that
Right.
really was something that I wanted to do. Things worked out differently for me, and I couldn't be happier about that. But yeah, that was in the back of my head. Like, now I have to go here and do this when I could be just sitting behind my camera making tons of money. So and that's
Right. Now, with your lives, were you face or faceless?
Faceless, and I still
Faceless.
am
Okay.
faceless. Yeah.
I was going to ask that because I remember you saying you were, you're a bit shy. In
Mhm.
lives, you have to be out there, but as long as you're not showing yourself, talking behind a camera is very, very simple.
Yeah, and that's one of the things too. Like when I say I'm shy, like every time, even now, doing this for so long, when I get ready to press the live button, I have butterflies in my stomach every single time. Even though I know exactly what I'm doing, I know exactly what to say. I'm taking a deep breath and just saying, I hope this is a good live, and not
Right.
only just like commission wise, sales wise, but just like comment wise and question wise, and just I hope sure I want everything to go smoothly, and I do get nervous every single time. It's always fresh to me. But when I get behind the camera, or not behind the camera, well, I am behind the camera, not in front of it. I actually am so comfortable once I get started.
Yeah.
It's like when the camera's on me, like right now, I feel really awkward. So yeah, it's and people say like, I can't believe that you're introverted, or I've listened to your live streams, and I've made some friends within the community, and they're like, oh, do you want to like meet up? And I'm like, yeah, I would love to do that, but I need like 3 weeks notice to like charge my social battery to do that, and they don't believe me. But it's just I just feel different, that and I feel really confident about what I'm talking about, so that makes me
Right.
feel, yeah, good.
You're not alone in that. Most people would probably, if I told people that I was an introvert, they'd probably be like, "No, there's no way. There's no way you are." But at the end of the day, this is simple to me, right? Having to go out there and exert the energy to interact with individuals and people and things of that nature, that drains me so fast.
Yeah.
We go out every night because my kids have jujitsu, so we go out every night. And the 2 hours that we're there, hour and a half, 2 hours that we're there, by the time that's over, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to do it. I want to come home. I want to relax, and I want to seclude myself here. That's it. I'm outgoing to a certain extent, so I understand that entirely. But people would probably be like, "Nah, you're crazy. You put yourself
Yeah.
out on the internet. You've got millions and millions and millions of views. This and that." I'm like, "Yeah, sure," but that's me talking to a camera and then putting it on the internet for people to see. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not being out there in front of those people all the time. So I get that, and a lot of people don't really understand that. But creating
Yeah.
content, whether it's live, whether it's videos, once you get over that feeling of what are people going to think of me, it's really just easy and it's second nature putting it out there. But it's different when you have to get in front of the actual people themselves.
Yeah, for sure. For
It's
sure.
it's a bit difficult. So I get that. I get that. So I want to ask you a couple of questions about some of the big achievements you've
Yeah.
been able to accomplish while doing all of this. What is one thing that kind of sticks out to you over everything else that's really made you take a step back and be like, holy shit, I did that.
Yeah. First, like the monetary part, I'll talk a little bit about some of my achievements there, but I think just growth personally, and, talking about being a little bit more introverted or a little bit awkward, right?
Right.
So I think some, like wins for me would be that I'm actually making videos now with my face
Good.
in them. So that's huge for me because I would never do that. And, I'm gaining the confidence from things that I'm learning within, the community, and just, all of the classes and things like that. So that is a huge win for me, to be able to, just be a little bit more outgoing and not really care what other people think. So that's a huge win
That's
for
fantastic.
me. Also, like discipline. The fact that, I could easily lay on the couch and binge watch something on the weekend, and every weekend I get up and I am on live stream at 9 a.m. every Saturday, every Sunday. And if I can squeeze in, one on a Friday, something like that, to be able to stick to a schedule for me, with how balancing things within my life, my family, that is a huge win for me too, because it's just not something like, it's something I have the motivation for. So I'm really proud of myself for that. But if we're talking about monetary things, my the month that really stands out for me since I've been doing this was in November. I had such a great month in November. I ended up with at 33,000 in commission
Holy
for the
shit.
month of November. Yes, and my GMV it was 148,000 for the month of November. So that month really is. I think back to that month, and it's funny because when I think back to it, I kind of like the mindfulness of it. I wish in that moment for that month I was taking it all in and saying like, like, wow, look at this, look what I'm
Right.
doing. And I think I was just like on autopilot, right? I was just going live. I knew that it was going to be a really great month. I didn't really take a step back and just say, wow, this is freaking awesome. Like,
Right.
I'm so grateful for this. And looking back, I think that way, but in the moment, I didn't. So it's like hard to bring those feelings back up. But I actually, every now and then, I just go back in and I put my month in TikTok, and I look at what I made that month, and I'm like, this was a great. Just as a reminder, this was such a great month. So yeah, that was definitely a win for me. And again, like it for like working that full-time job and trying to get this in, on the weekends, or if I had time at night, that is definitely a challenge. And I'm just really
Oh,
proud of
yeah.
myself to be able to stick to that. And that a goal for me was like, how much money can I make in the shortest period of time? Because I
Right.
don't have a lot of time. So what can I do to, increase sales, to make my setup better, to get my script better? And those things that I would constantly tweak, that really for me was like the light bulb moment, because if I only have every weekend to go live and maybe one day during the week, I need to take advantage of that and make as much money as I can.
100%. And you did a fantastic job at doing that. And doing that part time to make 30 grand in a month's time part time is just ludicrous. I mean, it's something that most people couldn't even fathom. I mean, that's a half a year's income for an average high paying job here in the United States. Like, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
You were going live, right? During that time, it wasn't videos.
Yeah. Live.
So what product was it? Was it something that was in demand for like Christmas, or what was it?
It's the self-cleaning litter box.
The meow wants. Those things are
The meow.
nuts.
Yeah, I'm still. That is the only. Aside from when I started and I did Happy Nuts and I did the coldest cup, couple
Right.
live streams with that. Like when I was flopping around finding a product, I did those for like that June to like July, and then once I honed in on that litter box. That's it. It was a wrap for me. Like I only go live with that product. I still only go live with that product. I've never switched since then at all. I'm still
That's
only doing the
insane.
self-cleaning litter box. Yep. Yes. I was worried myself, like, who's buying a litter box in November for Christmas? Like, people are buying toys, they're buying, gifts. Who's actually buying a litter box? And would someone buy a litter box as a gift for someone? And believe it or not, some people actually told me that they were buying them as gifts. It wasn't a
I
whole
believe
lot,
it.
but I was nervous. I actually kept thinking to myself, like, it's Q4. What can I switch to that I want to make the most money on,
Right.
And I just stuck with it, and I'm like, let's see what happens. And that was my biggest month. And to think like people were spending $250 on a litter box right before Christmas. I personally didn't really believe that I would have achieved that much, based off of the product, because, and the
Right.
time of year, but I was totally wrong.
It's that litter box solves one of the biggest problems any cat owner has, and that is scooping the own cat's poop. Like I,
Yep.
I have one cat. I hate cleaning her. I have two litter boxes for her. I hate
Yeah.
cleaning them. Absolutely hate it. And you would think that I'd have one of those by now because I've been doing this for so long. But I don't. And I think now I'm going to end up going and investing in one, because the fact that you're still printing money with that thing is insane to me.
Yeah, for sure. I was even looking at Mother's Day coming up, and I'm like, I think
Oh
this
my
is
God,
a
I could
great
get.
Mother's Day gift.
I would buy that for my mom. My mom's got like 10 cats. My mom's crazy. She's got like 10. I would definitely buy one or two of those for her for sure. They're expensive, but I feel like they're so worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
And like
so
I said, I
funny.
mean, that product for me, and there's times where everyone we're in our slow times, right?
Right.
Some things are going to do well, some things aren't. I'm riding that until the wheels fall off.
I
And
don't blame you.
the thought of me even trying something else, it just gives me severe anxiety,
I'm sure.
just because I know this so well. And I look at other things and I'm like, wow, this is doing this video, they're making huge sales. And I look at other live streams and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And I'm like, I'm not doing bad here. I'm not doing
Right.
bad here. I know what I'm going live with. I know the product. I love it. And so, yeah, I'm going to be doing that until I sell one to every single person in the
I
world.
do not blame you. Those things, they make you a good amount of money per sale,
Yes.
for one, and for two, it's a product that sells itself, really. I mean, you could sit there and just watch the demonstration happen, and people who have cats understand they don't want to clean up their poop. So I get it. That's fantastic. So some of those achievements are absolutely incredible. And the fact that, it's really giving you that discipline to really push forward and learn how to manage your time, especially in between working a full-time job and doing this as an affiliate, but taking time to prioritize what really matters without losing sight of what this can be is incredible. And a lot of people are, it's hard for some people to do that because learning that discipline and learning how to manage that time instead of saying, hey, it's Sunday, I want to relax and go watch TV. You pull up that live stream, you get started, and you just start talking. Once you get into that rhythm, it flows. And it's nice too, because you're sitting there and while you're having fun, you're also making money, which is, I think, one of the most important parts about this. And when you're not making the money, sometimes it can be a little bit tedious. But when the money really starts rolling in and you start taking that passion and putting it into all of this is when it really starts to become fun. Yeah. So I have some questions for you, and we are pushing a little close to time here, but I do have some questions for you about any sort of tips or strategies or any advice that you have for anybody that wants to jump into, let's say, live streaming for the affiliate program on TikTok Shop. Somebody who might be just beginning, or somebody who might even have been doing it for a while, but is starting to struggle.
Yeah, for sure. One of the biggest things for me is finding a product that you are totally in love with, that you're passionate about. And I don't think I would have been as successful if I chose a different product, right? Something that I'm able to really convey through my live streams of how I know that I believe in the product, what it's done for me, how it's, solved pain points. No more scooping, no more smells, saving money, those type things, and learn everything you can about it. I think that speaking with conviction really helps to build trust, right? It builds trust that people are going to be like, oh, exactly what she's saying. I trust her, and I think that really helps. Not only that, but just, I see people with supplements, and people love supplements. You don't ask me anything about a supplement. I'm not going to be able to, and I'm not going to be excited about it, right? Because I can't remember to take pills. I can't remember, to do these drinks. But when people believe in the product and you are talking about it and you're saying what benefits it gives you, that comes across in your tone, and it comes across in, your presentation. So I think number one is really finding something. And also, who wants to sit for, if you're doing a 90-minute, a 2-hour, live stream, and talk about something that you never really use, you don't really like, and something that doesn't excite you, So that, I think that really helped with my success. So I that's definitely one. Two, if you're afraid to go live, just do a little research. If you're in Live Academy, listen to what you're being told. Ask questions in the community. Everybody's happy to answer them. And just go live. Just do it. I know it's nerve-wracking. I know it's you're nervous about it. You'll find your stride. And when you find your stride, you will hear it in your voice. And that is what's going to get you people to come in. They're going to draw them in. They're going to, place orders. And so I think it's really just about knowing the product, being passionate about it, and don't be afraid to take a chance. I mean, I took a chance, and thankfully, I didn't lose my account over it. But if you don't take that chance, it's like the opposite for me with videos now. Now I'm trying to focus on videos, right? It's something different for me. I can do live streams. I love doing them, but now it's like I want to get better at videos. So now I'm like watching and learning. So if you're someone that's saying like, I do videos and I want to do lives, you can do it all. You can do it all.
And you're not wrong. We have so many people inside the community that do both and succeed very well with both sides of that. Videos, they're a challenge. Don't get me wrong. Finding your rhythm with videos is really, really tough. But once you get it and you understand what makes a video tick and what really gets it out there, and you've already done well with lives, now you're a double threat. And now it really jumps on your potential of earning is uncapped at that point.
Right.
It's insane what it can do for you. We have another community member by the name of Garrett who does both videos and lives, and he's been able to really find a good rhythm with that and make a bunch of money doing lives and videos. Yeah. So it works. You just got to get out there and you got to do it. Yeah. Just take that first step. Don't dip your toe in the water. Dive head first and make it work.
For sure.
Make it work. So I love that. I love the fact that you, in the very beginning of all of this, jumped in not knowing anything. Had some challenges, had kind of like a, for lack of a better term, come to Jesus moment of like, holy shit, I'm about to lose my account if I don't stop doing what I'm doing and learn the fundamentals behind all of this. You took that step. You joined Live Academy. You figured out what works. You found a product that worked. You didn't stop promoting the product to this day, you still promote that product, which to me is incredible because I've noticed a lot of people start with one and jump from product to product to product to product. And it's hard for them to find that rhythm, but you found your passion, and whether it be with an automated litter box, which is funny, it's something that you can talk about very confidently and really make work for you, which is really, really good. And you've made a bunch of money doing this part-time, which goes to show that even if you are struggling and working a full-time job, if you want it bad enough, you'll carve out the time necessary to make it work for yourself. And $30,000 in the month of November on a cat box while doing this part-time is insanity.
Yeah, for sure. I never could have imagined, being able to have those results. Never, especially like we said, like during that time of the year, with that product. But it's for me, thinking about switching to something else. I mean, at some point I'm going to have to, right? It's going to come to an end. I have to take the opportunity while it's here, seize the moment. And, but just, being in a pet niche, that's basically where I'm at in pet niche. My whole account is wrapped around pets, right? So everything I'm doing, even my videos right now, I have a second account. I'm trying to play with that a little bit, but I'm happy where I'm at, and that causes me less stress to be able to know I don't have to come and find a new product every week, switching around, looking for something to go live with. It's taken a little bit of that weight off of me, and just the results that I've seen. There's no way I'm going to switch until I'm not making sales at all.
Right. There's no need to, though. I mean, you ride that till the wheels fall off 1,000%. Like that's the best way to do that, I feel like. Yeah, that's crazy. I love that. Love that. It's it never ceases to amaze me the things that people make money with on this. Every time I interview somebody and they tell me the most obscure product, I'm like, holy shit, how are you even doing that? And it's not minute either. It's lots of money being made with it. It's crazy.
I know. Whenever I tell it, when someone asks me what do you sell or what do you do, and I'm like, yeah, I sell litter boxes, and they're like, what? That's so weird. No, it's really cool. Want me to tell you all about it? Here's how you can get one.
Here's the script.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's funny. Well, Melissa, I really appreciate you being here today. We are on time here. I do want to give you an opportunity to plug any of your socials that you have. If you're comfortable with it, we'll definitely share them down below. That way people can kind of go look and draw some inspiration from it. I do want to let everybody watching know that if you want to join Social Army and if you want to see what this opportunity is all about, there's going to be a link down below this video here if you're watching on Spotify or on YouTube to join directly. And it's going to be underneath Melissa directly. We'll be sharing her link. I highly recommend, if you're interested in lives, joining Live Academy. Live Academy changed a lot of people's lives when they first joined it, and it's one of the best programs out there, if not the best program out there, to learn how to sell live on TikTok Shop. And they will teach you everything you need to know. They will handpick products at the beginning of every week and give you the top 10 products that are working on lives with the scripts, so that way you can get on there and just go foolproof and not have to think twice about it. All you have to do, and you get the product in yourself, whether through sample or purchasing it, however that's going to work for you, and you go live. It is really that simple to do. Now, is this going to be something that's easy? No, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge in the beginning. You're going to have low views. You're going to have those struggles. But I promise you, if you stick through it and you take this seriously, you can get results like Melissa here. And you can find a way to make this work for yourself. You just have to believe in yourself, for one. And for two, you have to go through the motions. But outside of all of that, Melissa, I really appreciate you being here today. Thank you so much for giving me your time.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was nice chatting with you. It's funny because I know that, when you read off the names and you see everybody and you're like, gosh, what do they do? What live are they going live with? Or what videos are they making? And it's always so great to hear what they've had success on. You said, what type of products. I love that for everyone. And it's yeah, you wouldn't think that would have been something that sold. So it's so interesting to hear yeah, you made money on that. That's amazing. But yeah, Thank you so much.
Of course. And again, I appreciate you so much for being here. Thanks for sharing, everything that you shared with us today. I'd love to see where you're at the end of the year and possibly do another one of these and just kind of recap on where everything's taking you for the rest of this year. Cause I think this is going to be a really, really big year for a lot of people. So
me too. Yeah. Thanks again, Bryce.
No problem. I appreciate you again, everybody. If you guys want to subscribe to the channel, please go ahead and do so. Like the video is what helps us get out there. And if you have any questions, drop in the comment section down below. We try to respond to everybody when we can. Outside of that, go back. We have, I think, over 40 episodes of this. There's a lot of information out there. Go binge watch it. Get those tips. Get those, get the advice from all those big creators and go out there and do something with it, because I promise you, TikTok Shop is where it's at. It's an untapped opportunity that a lot of people are still sleeping on. So go give it a shot. Outside of that, I appreciate you all, and we will see you guys on the next one.